dear respected football fans, KlareSport Podcast, myself, Klas, and my boy Chevy. We're going to touch on a couple of football topics, and today we're going to touch on Chelsea.
Yeah, Mr. Klaas, thanks for having me back again, second time round. Let's see how this one goes. Chelsea youngsters. Mr. Klaas, what are you saying?
Oh, where do I start? Well, first and foremost, I just want to put it out there that Chelsea have the best scouts in the Premier League. Proven, do you know what I mean? Even these bunch of players, these youth players that are coming through now, they're amazing. But let's go a bit back in time, and we'll go to the Izzy Browns, Solanke, Clark Salters. These guys are also great top talents, you know what I mean? Obviously, they never got the chance because obviously at the time, Chelsea were not trying to bring through their youth. They just kept going and getting foreign players and ready-made players, which I understand, but it was bad for the youth. But now, that transfer ban, turned out to be a blessing in disguise because now a lot of people that didn't know how good Chelsea's youth were, now they're enlightened to it, and there's just a lot of youth coming through, and I feel that if they continue playing the youth, they could be onto something good. What's your view on that?
Yeah, Chelsea for years were winning Youth Cup, FA Youth Cup after FA Youth Cup, European Champions Leagues, like all the youth levels, dominating. You know, back in the day, one of the best players I thought coming through was Lewis Baker. Like, I don't know how he didn't get his chance. Like, right foot, left foot, corners, free kicks, pens, like he was doing it all.
Top player.
And I think, players like that, had they got their chance, who knows where they would have been. Nathaniel Chalobah now at Watford, again, another example. There's many different players who've slipped through the net that they've had.
Casey Palmer,
baller. You know what I mean? There's some top players that just didn't get their chance for whatever reason. But yeah, the blessing in the skies was the transfer ban, but also a bit of magic by Chelsea. Finally said, you know what? Let's get Frank in and let's get Jody Morris. And Jody Morris, running the youth academy for however many years, knows all these players ins and out. So they trust him and he trusts them. So the backing is there. He's got a little bit more experience than Frank, so he can lean on Frank and say, look, bang, this player does this, so it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
and, the faith for that started back last season when they were at Derby, and he took Mason Mount on loan and Tomori on loan.
Yeah.
And gave them the playing time and said, right, these guys are my players. As soon as he came back to Chelsea, these man was straight in the team.
Yeah,
there was no ifs or no buts, Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, Barkley, those are there, but he said, no, Mason Mount's my guy, and he started him. So he showed the faith already. So Chelsea finally reaping awards. I'm happy for players like Tammy Abraham.
Of course.
I think what I used to see him do at the youth level was amazing, and you just needed a chance. Like when you're at Swansea's dead, and he was still scoring.
Yeah, of course.
Now you actually give him service, give him a few seasons, like being the main striker, learning off Giroud. His game is gonna go far. And yeah, the youngsters. I know you're a big fan of the right back, Mr. Reece James. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I feel Reece James, I think he's top quality. I think even when I watched the Bayern versus Chelsea, yes, Chelsea got annihilated, but he held his own. He was up against Alphonso Davies, another top quality young player. And I feel he held his own. He was putting in tackles. He's making himself a presence. And I just think if they can keep it up, he might be a good shout for England.
Yeah, the future's definitely bright, and Chelsea got 35,000 man on loan, so a lot of youth talent out on loan. So they've got players to come back who can do a job, and on a personal level, I hope Trevor Chalobah comes back from Huddersfield Town and gets an opportunity and does his thing. A former pupil of mine, so hopefully he gets his chance like some of these other guys like Mount and Reece James, and takes his opportunity like the others have. So the future's definitely bright for Chelsea, and like I said, that transfer ban, like you mentioned as well, blessing in disguise. See what the future holds.
Well, I'm hoping that at the end of the season, when the big window comes, I'm hoping that Chelsea build on this and don't just go out there and start getting all these ready-made players. Like, obviously get one or two, but I want the youth to just keep pushing and help Chelsea to elevate to the next level.
Yeah, and I think the youngsters have proved that they don't have to do that, because they've performed well, and given the opportunity, they'll do well again. So we'll see what happens.